Did you know? Does anyone know when XR Women started? When was XR Women founded? Am I pulling a trivia game?
You are, definitely. Does anybody in this room know when XR Women started?
No.
All right.
Really.
Oh my gosh, the mystery.
Take a guess.
Anyone able to take a guess? I believe it was
2020.
October 2020. Ooh,
that's the closest call yet.
Woohoo! Yes, that is. We're doing good. We don't have prizes, but we could create one quick with these.
But it was actually November. It was actually November 18th, 2020, the first official XR Women event. So there's more story to come, right, Paige?
There is more story. Does anybody know who Margie Purple is?
I know that one too.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you for indulging me in my.
I love it. I love her.
Thank you. Okay, tell us a little bit about Margie Purple. Yes,
Me?
Julie.
Sorry. No, Lisa. Lisa, you were the one talking, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm now listening.
Okay. Margie Purple is our host, our AI host in this world. She's not here today, but she's located in our community hall. So next month we'll probably go and visit her. And she is our AI assistant, I guess we'll call her. But we've been doing some experimenting on her. And so I think we're ready to get started now. Wadooah is back in the space, and we're ready to get rolling with XR Women Wednesday, number 238.
Fantastic. Welcome, Wadooah. Wadooah, Wali, we're so happy that you're here today. And I'm just,
wow. I feel the
ride. Yeah, okay. I was in the fire before, and now I'm like flying on carpets. This is a magical day. We're going to we're going to have a fireside chat with Robin Mulder and Wadooah Wali. We'll talk about Pop, Drop, and Tell, building worlds, games, and communities. That's something that's dear to my heart. Thank you for being here. Excited. But before we begin, of course, you know that we're recording you, right? And we love our avatar etiquette. And please mute if you're not speaking. We know that you respect our speakers' opinions, and they don't always necessarily reflect those of XR Women, our leadership, or even yours. That's okay. That's what makes us a group, a community, a democracy. Connect with others, collaborate, and help make the future better through technology. We love that you're here. Thank you. And we welcome our new XR Women members and allies. And I've met some of you here. This is super exciting. Does anyone want to raise their avatar hands and introduce themselves?
I can.
I'm not really sure how to raise my hand, but can you guys all hear me?
Yes, we can.
That's my son in the background. Hi, everybody. My name is Janice, and I am here as part of, it's kind of a research project for the Immersive Media Communications graduate program at University of Oregon. So, part of our project was to research an organization or business that utilizes XR, and XR Women was something that we found, and we're really excited to be here. This is my first XR experience ever, and so far I'm having a lot of fun. So thanks for allowing us to come in.
Oh, we're great. We're happy to have you here. And I see Lork too. Please welcome.
Yes.
Share a little bit
nice
about
to meet you. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay, my name is Laura. I've been working on technology for almost 10 years. I'm software testing engineer, and a few months ago, I've been volunteering for a VR platform, and I'm here to meet all of you and share my experience and learn from your experience. I'm from
Welcome.
Bogota, Colombia.
Oh, great. We're so glad you're here. Thank you. Ah, wonderful. Does anyone else to wish to introduce yourselves? If you wish to also introduce yourself in our Slack channel, we have a Slack channel, and you're probably able to find that link easily right on our website. So please share your LinkedIn or your Instagram. We want to know you and be connected and celebrate your wins. And thank you to our sponsors, our platform partners, our production team, our student chapter members, and our media partners and community members. We have gratitude for all of you. And we would love to invite you to join Sensei Hack. This is going to be amazing in Barcelona and San Francisco. And wow, look at that prize pool. Did you know that on Thursday nights we have game night? This is awesome. If you have never played Walkabout Mini Golf, I urge you to join this every Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. We're excited to gather together for fun as well as culture. So please join the museum anytime. It's open 24/7 to see the exhibit She Who Codes Herself, AI and the Aesthetics of Becoming on the Frame platform. And Ready Player Golf is the world's first virtual reality charity golf fundraiser. Swing for a Cause on November 14th and 15th. And you are able to register at readyplayergolf.org. This is an important event that raises money through giving children with cancer not just a fighting chance at life, but the joy of escaping into immersive worlds through VR. And our motivation of the week. This is something that we share each week, and it evolves and helps to center ourselves for the week or offer some reflection. Every world begins with a story. Every world, virtual or real, starts with a spark of imagination. It begins with one person daring to tell a story that hasn't been told before. What is your story? Next week, we are excited to welcome you to EdStudia to learn from Christine Jansen and Yogini Janglekar about rewiring your mindset about learning, embracing technology, embracing emerging technology. And we have a registration link.
Yeah, just to jump in there, Paige, this is Julie Smithson. Just to let everybody know, this is a different world than what we're in today, and you have to register to get into this event. They're like, even on the day of, they're going to be juggling and managing. This is a totally different platform. We went in and it was so much fun. So please join us for this one and register ahead of time. So the link is there. We'll post it in the official events link in Slack as well for everybody to follow up. Thank you.
Fantastic. And I cannot thank you all enough for being part of what makes us able to celebrate 5 years. It's because of all of you creating this community, your commitment, and we invite you to celebrate our 5th year together. And so stay tuned for a calendar full of opportunities to gather, learn, and accelerate your passions in XR. And I am now happy to be able to welcome Wadooah Wali for Pop, Drop, and Tell, Building Worlds, Games, and Communities. And Robin Mulder will join you here, and I will lower the carpet.
Let's see if I can
Good morning and afternoon, everybody. I am thrilled to be here with all of you at XR Women. Today, we're going to explore how technology and community are coming together in powerful new ways. And I couldn't ask for a better person to dive into this with me than Wadooah Wali, co-founder and chief strategy officer of New Canvas, a studio redefining how we experience stories in XR. Wadooah, you've been called a story-first XR producer, someone who leads a narrative as the North Star. Can you start off by sharing how your approach took shape, for you, and how did your journey lead you to New Canvas and this kind of immersive work that you're doing today?
Absolutely, and thank you, Robin, and thank you, XR Women.
My avatar hands and my face don't match. Is there a way to change this, or why has it already changed? I didn't change it.
I'm sorry. Who has a question about
It's
the
okay.
avatar?
I got the audio.
Okay.
I got the audio.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Thank you. Yeah, that's okay. Technical difficulties. Yes, my name is Wadooah Wali, and I am happy to be here. I'm a proud member of XR Women for, I guess, 2 years now, and this is such a great community. And I really got I've always been a storyteller first and foremost, and but my path to storytelling began in actually communication. So, and I really fell in love with brand storytelling and whatnot. So I started out in print, actually started out in college in radio. So by the time I was at Warner Media in 2019 and left that, I went on walkabout to Australia and met my co-founder. And we really were talking about this next evolution of storytelling and what that looked like. And so he was like, "You really have an interest in this. Did you want to join me perhaps in starting this new company?" And I thought, yeah, I've told stories across print, radio, TV, screen, film, and TV now. I have an award-winning documentary as well. Why not tell stories in XR, especially because we see in 3D. This is how we see the world, and stories just hit so much harder in this medium. So with New Canvas, we really wanted to place the emphasis on story first. And technology is cool, but it's really about the experience of feeling things and feeling stories.
That's awesome. XR has the power to change, who gets to see what and how things are heard, and even who gets to create. What have you learned about creating spaces for diverse voices through immersive media?
Well, I mean, and I'm sorry. Just to take a step back and just really talk about New Canvas for a minute. Our mission has always been to make storytelling more experiential, more human, and more inclusive. Some of our projects are like Lustration and When Brooklyn Was Queer came out of that belief, and immersive spaces can give people new ways to see themselves. And actually, maybe we can throw to a couple clips, and then I can talk a little bit more about that inclusivity and some of the projects.
That sounds great. What would you like to see first? What should we spin up first?
Let's tee up When Brooklyn Was Queer, because this is a project that I am actually leading the charge for. It's based on a book by Hugh Ryan, New York Times bestseller. The book itself covers queer Brooklyn from the 1890s. From 1850s up through Stonewall, and
it's better. It had
I'll
better
tell you a
be.
little bit more about it.
We'll see what Marion
there we
says
go.
when she gets here.
She talked to you? Of course. You?
Ready?
Careful, girls. Don't go spilling my secrets now. Grace needs to put a little pep in her step, and Laura needs to check her turnout. She's distracted. She's sleeping with that new costume girl. But then again, so am I. It's getting there, don't you think? My girls are all professionals. Still isn't actually a real theater. Did I say that? It's a theater of the mind. Your mind. We're booked. And for tonight at least, we're taking over. In a couple of hours, there'll be crowds all up and down here. People selling all kinds of things. Tickets, food, fortune, themselves. A little bit of love and sugar. It's 1896, baby. Coney Island, New York. The future's here. But I guess I have to introduce myself, don't I? Do I have to do everything around here? The legendary Marion Hines, at your service. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and.
And I have to say that this is just our vertical slice. So we are going to tell the story where you are actually going to see people, because we think it's important for people to see people. So this is our proof of concept. You're seeing something very special because this isn't ready for public. I mean, like, we're not showcasing it to a lot of people, but our goal is to make this to like Pose meets Chicago. So we want to have that theatricality. We want to bring in the big performances. We're working with a well-known choreographer and composers to really bring the story to life, because in immersive, you can actually drop into this world. And I should say that When Brooklyn Was Queer is going to be a series, and so we plan to cover the time period 1850s to Stonewall. But for the pilot, I really wanted to focus on 1894. And focus it on drag kings who were actually a thing, and they walked among people, and there was no rhetoric and no guide rails for homophobia that just hadn't been explored yet. And so most people would encounter queer people in the theater, and it was just known. And actually, the type of theater that these drag kings created was called safe vaudeville, and it allowed men and women to be able to go and experience entertainment together for the first time. It also created the women running these shows were also showrunners, so they were actually creating jobs. And I thought, what a great great way to drop people into this moment where people were just accepted, where there is a lot of hope and celebration for what's possible. And so I'm really excited, especially in this time that we're living in now, that to be able to tell this kind of story without the same gatekeepers that we have in traditional media. So we're really excited to push this one forward. Hopefully we'll be able to go into production in 2026. So stand by and just tell your friends about it, because I definitely, and we can talk about that later, about just the way that we're building community around this just to support this work. But yeah, this is my baby, and we're working with Elliot Page and Page Boyd Productions to bring it to life and to bring it to more audiences. I think the other
real quick, can you so for those of you who aren't in the business, vertical slice is something that you stand up to try to start getting some traction, get people interested. To take this to production, what do you need? What are you looking for? How can our community help?
Absolutely. A New Canvas, I should also add, is an Australian company, thank goodness. So I'm the only U.S. counterpart. So we are able to leverage the funding that we get from the Australian government. The rest we're fundraising. So we are looking for platform partners. We're also creating a path to location-based entertainment to bring it to life. So if you're interested in supporting this project, we do have a crowdfunding crowdfunding page set up, and yeah, we would love you to support it if you're feeling it.
Amazing. Would you like to check out the next video? Would you like to bring that up?
Yes. Yes, and the other one is actually available. If you have a Meta Quest, you can watch it anytime. And Meta actually co-funded this production. It's called Lustration, and it's based on a graphic novel by a First Nations creator in Australia named Ryan Griffin.
So today, I've stumbled across an organization. They kind of run the afterlife like a social club, I guess. And they will do anything to protect that. Even kill.
I'm sorry about this. All of this. I'm going to fix it. For good this time.
I will do whatever it takes to have my family safe.
Are you ready for the biggest fight of your death?
Incredible. And so this, you said this is available now on MetaQuest 3?
It is. It is. I don't know why I'm standing all of a sudden. I don't know what happened.
You can try your right. If you take your right hand and use the teleport and then point it at the seat, and anyone can do this as well. You point it around at the seat and then pop into the seat.
Okay.
I'll pop out of the seat and then I'll pop back into the seat. Boop.
Okay. All right. Sorry
It can be a
about
little
that.
tricky sometimes. No doubt about it.
I'm sorry. What was your question?
Lustration. What platforms are that is available on? Is that you said MetaQuest 3? How about any of the other platforms?
No, it's available for all Quest devices. So if you have a MetaQuest, you can check it out, and it's free.
So that's a straight up app download, or is that on one of the movie platforms?
You can go to Horizon TV and see it, and
Excellent.
it's a multi-part series. And what's cool about this is that you can watch the story from multiple directions. I mean, there are multiple cameras. So Ryan is, like I said, First Nations creator. So he really leaned into the way that they tell stories, the tens of thousands of years that First Nations folks have been telling stories. Stories are earned. And so the whole idea behind this noir kind of stylistic series is finding out the truth, and do you trust the people who are quote unquote giving you the truth. And so you're meant to watch the story, the different episodes from multiple perspectives to find your own truth in the story. So it's a very cool series, and I encourage you to check it out.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. So when you're creating these kinds of experiences, as a fellow XR creator, one thing that we all struggle with is how to evoke feelings in these new spaces, to reshape the emotional architecture of a space. And by having those varied inputs like that, that sounds like a really interesting way to do it. Can you tell me more about your approach to this?
Yes, and then this goes back to your question about inclusivity. And I mean, as a queer Black creator myself, it was really important as a founder of this company to ensure that we are creating stories for all people, because unlike traditional media, which is based in like more constrained storytelling, I mean, the fact is now, especially with streaming, we're telling stories to global audiences, and so we want the content to reflect the global audience's interests and tastes that we're serving up. And so we do that by finding creators that have interesting stories to tell and bringing them to market.
Incredible. So let's take a minute and pivot over to like talking about the actual craft. Your story is known for the mantra of narrative in the North Star. So what does that mean in practice?
Yeah, narrative. I mean, it's really story first. I often will think of it. I go back to when I approached my friend Matt Jordan Smith, who is with Pageboy, and we used to work at Warner together. We were actually leading the charge on some DEI practices for the queer community within that organization. And now we found ourselves as leaders of this. He's leading Page Boy with Elliot, and I'm with New Canvas, and we were catching up at lunch, and he was like, well, now how does this work? How are you telling stories in immersive? I don't quite get that. And I told him, well, it's just like with all things, like any other medium, it begins and ends with story. And so if the story is great, then you're going to have a great product. And so you have to stay true to the storytelling. And even with When Brooklyn Was Queer, I was recently meeting with my team, and we're very cognizant of keeping the technical aspects out of the scripting of the story for now, because we want to make sure that the story lands. We actually recently did a table read, which I don't think that a lot of people do in XR, just so that we could hear how the words came alive on the page and see what that looks like. And then we'll back up the technical aspect into how we craft the story. I mean, we're absolutely thinking about the ways that it will take shape, especially, as we're having conversations with location-based entertainment organizations who do want a little bit more of that social aspect in the storytelling. So you can't completely keep it out of the room, but for as long as possible, we want to really just center on the story and make sure that the storytelling is actually happening and resonating with people.
Right. And so when you guys moved into a little bit of the gaming, how did that approach change, or did it change at all? With Pop and Drop, for example.
But it's funny because when we started the company back in 2020, we were pretty bullish on just being focused on narrative storytelling. We believed in immersive, and we believed that there was a world that people wanted stories. But in this climate, and just as we know, this industry has had a lot of stops and starts and a lot of excitement, and then it dies down. And so we thought, what better way to future-proof our business and also expand our storytelling and create more on-ramps into the stories that we're telling, but by getting into gaming. So this year, we recently announced that we had launched our gaming label called NC Play, and we actually just launched our first multi-platform game. I mean, so right out the gate, we're launching a multi-platform game in Meta Horizon World in June, and which is called Pop and Drop. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that. But if we can, but I think seeing is believing. So we created a trailer for Pop and Drop. So maybe we can check that out, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a moment. Julie or Paige, Pop and Drop.
Yeah, sorry. I'm trying
No.
here. It's
Okay.
yeah. No, sorry. I'm totally trying, but it's actually stuck. And
Well,
There.
that is happening.
Sorry, just
So eventually the plan, we also, when we announced Pop and Drop, we also announced that we are creating a Steam-based program.
I mean, you gotta love getting eaten by a shark. I'm a big fan of this. Anybody who knows me.
Hovering over a tank with balloons, and the Pop and Drop isn't related to anything in our catalog yet, I would say. But it was, like I said, we wanted to just dip our toes in the water and just learn a little bit more about what was happening in Meta Horizon World and like I said, future-proof our business. But when we announced Pop and Drop, we also announced that we are developing a Steam-based game for illustration. So that will be outside of the Meta ecosystem, and it will be available for people to play on their desktops and on mobile devices, because we really want to be sure that people. The hard thing about this immersive industry is that there is such a barrier to entry. With, do you have a headset? Do you not have a headset? And those things are changing now, especially with the new players coming into market like Apple and Samsung that are creating more experiences that, and even Meta, I would say, with Meta Horizon World, to expand to people, to be able to reach people across platform. So eventually the goal will be, like that people will be able to discover us and our content through, whether they come in through gaming or whether they come in through our series. We want people to be able to find us and find the content that we're making, because right now it really is about the battle of eyeballs. I mean, across the board, whether you're a brand, whether you're a studio, everybody is thinking about how do we retain consumer attention, because it's eaten up now by AI, by devices, by so many different things. And so so the best way to be sure that we are meeting people where their eyes are to be in all those places.
Yeah, it's a tricky and complex landscape that we all live in when we're trying to promote our products, because you might put out something like Pop and Drop, and people will think, oh, you're game developers, and you're like, well, we're narrative story designers that do immersive films. So how do you balance that message between these experimentations of doing things in games, which of course are the future of your company, and learning to work in that medium with technical complexity, with story, and getting that message across to people that are your audience?
Yeah, I mean, I think the way that we came to terms with it is that that gaming can be storytelling as well, and the way that you approach it, and the way that you think about drawing audiences in is similar to the way that you're telling stories, and you have to make it entertaining. And at the end of the day, we're definitely trying to show that we're not just a one-trick pony. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but again, going back to what I was saying about the need to meet people's eyeballs where they are, we want to be able to provide experiences that appeal to all kinds of people, and so yeah, the way that we just get around that is making, especially the way that we're thinking about approaching games now, are games that are appealing to broader audiences, just like the narrative stories that we're telling are meant for broader audiences. They're maybe, I mean, I'm not just somebody that watches TV only. I also play games. So why wouldn't I want to lean into a company that is creating things that I like?
Right. And I look at this a lot like great storytellers are noticed across any medium. And once you find a great storyteller, you might go check out other work that they're doing, which might make you explore film. Maybe you were a gamer and you never really explored film before. So this is a great way to drive that audience over to experiment with new things themselves and build a little more, expand ownership of stories by getting them more involved.
And to that end, I mean, like another example of the stories that we're telling is with Atlas Obscura, which is more of a documentary style. I don't know if people are familiar with the Atlas Obscura brand, but they have books, they have a podcast, it's all about feeding your wanderlust and your travel curiosity. So and I'm excited to say that last night when Samsung announced, did their big release of their Samsung Galaxy XR headset, that our Atlas Obscura that we currently have on MetaQuest is now a launch title within the Samsung Galaxy wearables now. So we're excited to have that expansion. But yeah, I'll show you the clip for Atlas, and you can see it's definitely a different tone than what you've seen so far.
That's exciting. Julie, can you roll that clip?
I think she's working it.
Okay. It's coming. It takes a minute.
Yeah. The world is not what it seems. Beneath the mundane lie incredible wonders and hidden stories. Inside a mountain in northern Italy, secret temples are home to mystical ceremonies. Under a sleepy town in Transylvania, a futuristic chamber awaits. And in California, a maze-like house holds untold secrets. In an age where everything seems to have been explored and there is nothing new to be found, we celebrate a different way of looking at the world. Come with us, away from the familiar, into the forest, and through the unmarked door. Come see the world through new eyes. This is Atlas Obscura.
Thank you. So if you have a Quest, any Quest device, this is available in the Meta Horizon store. And now you can also find it in the Google Play Store for your Samsung Galaxy. It's really, again, going back to the trying to be everywhere, it's exciting that we're now in this time that we're having conversations with multiple partners and that more people are leaning in. I would say beyond just the traditional platform providers. I mean, you go to a place like Cosm and you can see the Matrix, and you can, immersive is definitely taking shape and taking hold of audiences, and people want to see this. But at the same time, we're thinking about this convergence, this time where film and games and social worlds collide, and that include AI as well. And for creators like us, it's exciting and overwhelming, but also means that we can design these different experiences for different kinds of audiences, and do it in a way that's both emotionally relevant but also narrative driven. I mean, just the boundaries between creator and audiences are dissolving, and I think what's next for this immersive world will be more input from the audiences and a bit more social. I would say that we think about the fact that what's missing in immersive right now is that social experience, and I should say in immersive narrative is that social experience. So I think that we're definitely thinking about the ways of pulling in more of that shared experience, regardless as to whether you're at home or you're out at a location-based experience.
Right. So that feedback loop with the community. And if we go way, way, way back in time to the early storytellers and they sat around a fire and told their stories, you guys would react right away. And I would know if I said the line particularly well, or did my story resonate with this crowd? And night after night, I could change that and I could pivot and I could really craft it to be for this audience. And we lost that when we went to film. Then they had to have test groups that represent us, and they didn't always represent us particularly well. So with that in mind, how do you see the future of immersive storytelling?
We just continue to be excited about it because, in part, what I was saying, just a lot of meetings that we've been having with people who aren't specifically natively and immersive talk about the quote-unquote cosmication, and if you're not here in LA or in a city where where you're fortunate enough to experience Cosm is similar to most people have heard of the Sphere in Vegas. So Cosm has created a half dome experience, so smaller experience, smaller than the Sphere, but still very emotionally relevant, very immersive, and their hashtag is shared reality. And it really has gotten more, I would say, premium storytellers excited about the ways that they can tell stories in these mediums, and it also has excited audiences. And so we have Netflix creating immersive the Sony House, I think, in Chicago, and I was mentioning the Sphere, which is opening up. They're going to be creating other Sphere locations as well as Cosm. So I just continue to be excited about the conversations that we're having with independent creators, but we're also been working and speaking with some premium creators. And I think the last clip that I'll show real quick, just to show an example of this, is Wentworth. And Wentworth if you, I think it was on Netflix for a bit here, but it's really an Australian show. It's kind of like Orange is, I wouldn't say like Orange is the New Black, but it takes place in a prison. It's got a cult following. It had a couple seasons. And so we were fortunate enough to work with Fremantle in Australia to do a little send-up of Wentworth for all the fans.
She made a mistake, took something that wasn't hers and hid it away.
Roach is on the warpath. Listen, we've got to go.
The wrong decision.
Welcome to Wentworth.
Incredible.
And yeah, and talk about, I mean, so I can't say that I've ever had the desire to know what it feels like to be in jail and have people coming at me because somebody hid something in my cell, but it's a great experience, and talk about being able to step into these worlds, and I love the fact that each of the stories that we're telling, the way that we think about audience and the interactivity is different for each of them. This one, like I said, you are a participant in the story. With Lustration, you are an observer, but you have agency to be able to watch the story and absorb the story as you go. With When Brooklyn Was Queer, especially because we want to appeal to, we don't want it to be too passive, but we also don't want to ask the audience of what's happening too much, because we want the emphasis to be on the performances. So we approach all of these narrative pieces just a little bit differently, and even, you know, with something like Pop and Drop, you are the player, you are the character. We've been in the world and we've seen groups of families being in there, and you know, they have their own way of playing, and so they're creating their own narrative experiences around the games, which is really exciting.
Right, and some of these experiences, you definitely want people to take away what they want to take away. I would imagine, though, in other ones, you might have some specific outcomes in mind. You know, especially this last one here. Can you talk about that process of like trying to? I guess it's a little bit of inception. It's trying to like plant some seeds of some things you want to grow in their minds.
Well, I mean, I actually, it's more of we feel that we're still experimenting with each of these stories, because we are, you know, narrative driven, but this is a new format that's being created, and nobody's nailed it yet. And we think about this time that we're in, and comparing it to the 50s, when people first started bringing televisions into their homes in the late 40s and early 50s, and the content that was created for those sets were basically radio programs where they had people reading in front of cameras and, you know, telling stories, and it wasn't until we had, you know, companies like Desilu and other smaller creators that became big, because they helped push this multi-camera sitcom, you know, like the multi-camera format for telling stories. And, you know, you fast forward to, I would say, the past 10, 20 years, and people have talking about the rise of cinematic television. So cinematic television suddenly took on, you know, the forms of the feel of films, and it was actually bringing in directors from film into TV, which, you know, once upon a time they wouldn't cross those lines. They saw TV as the step down. So we're excited about the people that we get to work with, and the fact that we are, you know, we're still figuring it out. We're helping to create this new way of telling stories for this new medium, and we feel like it does take on elements of gaming, and it does need to take on elements of theater, and it does need to take on film and TV mechanics, as well as the technology. So I would say that we're not there yet. We're just continuing to push story and play with things, and just get that feedback loop to see what works.
Right. See what resonates, and then iterate on that and learn from that. MetaConnect, James Cameron being there and talking about how he has always wanted it to be immersive was really impactful to help the other people out there who are just watching TV and think that's just fine. Yeah, but they don't think about those early days. They don't think about the radio and how much like spatial audio was done in those days to make it feel good, to make it feel like you're just listening to this little box here, but your imagination was filling in all of the other details. And then they had to transfer from that to, okay, now we're showing it to you on a 2D screen. So that must have been a very difficult transition back in the day, but it worked because people wanted to look at things and get to see, some people can't visualize everything. So that was really helpful. And now we're moving into immersive and we're seeing everything converge. So how has that affected you in positive ways, like reaching out to people in the community and getting to work with other types of groups like gamers and film and theater?
Yeah, community is definitely incredibly important. I mean, just look at the people in this room. I mean, like XR Women is here for a reason. We're building community where we come to these talks so that we can learn from other creators, other people in the space doing interesting things. And you just can't. I think that the onus is on us to bring more people into the space, and so I think that especially when we think about creating content, there's a reason why the entertainment industry is what it is. That there is a big marketing engine behind it, and this has been happening over the past 100 years. So we have definitely been trained to lean into this experience. But I think about a project like When Brooklyn Was Queer, and just the typical ways that we create content in this medium, where we have a cool project, we get into a festival, maybe it's at South by Southwest, maybe it's Venice, and the audience is there, get to see it, and then maybe I'll do the circuit to other film festivals, and then where does it go? It sits on a shelf, maybe if they're lucky, they've partnered with somebody that continues to give it that visibility. So
I've seen that pattern way too many times, and it's sad, really, because it happens in game development side too. Is you go and do a lot of promotion about a product, and then it's just out there, and hopefully maybe people are buying it, but there's that wave of it has to be something new all the time. And I think that we as a society need to kind of get more into these stories are evolving and focus more on that. Yeah.
Absolutely. Stories are evolving, and in this time of hyperconnectivity, I mean, people do feel a lot more ownership or at least connectivity to everything, whether it's the phone in your pocket, whether it's the jeans that that you're wearing, and so creating community, I think, is essential for just ensuring that that the projects get seen, that the space continues to grow, that people continue to be excited about it, that it's not just I think about back in and I'm dating myself now, I'm an old lady. But back in the late 90s and early 2000s, when people, were debating about should I get this internet thing at home, and it was seen as just the thing that the weird people were doing in their basements, or and it was really not as much a part of our everyday lives. And I think that that immersive and however that comes to form, like this is here, and it's only going to continue to grow. So I think it's important that we are not separating ourselves on this island anymore, because we know all the cool stuff that we're doing, and how exciting it is, and how moving, how we can impact lives, and how we can create products and things that we use in every day, and so creating community, not just around the projects that we create, but creating community around the space is very important.
Yeah, that's a great callback to that separation that people are perceiving when they put on a headset, when they don't know what we're seeing, how we're interacting. They see it as a separation, just like when the iPad when everyone started using tablets and iPads and that's the thing, that we go to a meeting or their laptop is open, there's a screen between you and the other person. and it was separating, and it did feel like that, like, oh, you're shutting me out. I can't see what you're doing. Why don't you pay attention to me? And now some people, if they haven't experienced this, they feel the same way. Oh, you're shutting the world out by putting on this, covering your eyes, essentially. And we don't look at it this way. I look at it as we're opening our eyes to even more experience. Everything in the entire world is here for us to experience together. So I love what you're saying, right? God.
And even people from other, I mean, we have somebody from Colombia here, and the XR Girls Africa. I mean, like, during the pandemic, I never felt locked down. I mean, and this is even before I started working with New Canvas. I was always going into, putting on this headset and thinking about where am I going to go now. I know a lot of people were kind of climbing the walls, but I felt bad for them because I'm just like, there's a world of possibilities right here on my head.
Right. If you would just be willing to step into it with us, everything would be great. That's amazing. Wadooah, it's been so great to talk to you. We have just a few minutes left. First, I wanted to give you a moment for some closing remarks. If you can tell everyone how to get involved with your projects, or like the kinds of things that you're looking for help in projects. Any way that people can get involved with you and how they connect with you.
Absolutely. Yeah, feel free to reach out and connect with me either on LinkedIn, or you can also connect with me on Instagram. We're always looking for new stories and new people to collaborate with, because we intentionally keep our team pretty lean so that we can crew up accordingly for various projects. So also, if, like I said, if you're interested in supporting a project like When Brooklyn Was Queer financially, and going back to the community piece, I have definitely taken a step back this past year, and I had ambitions about trying to go into production for that project around this time this year, but I really saw the need to talk to the community, and so meeting with American LGBT History Museum and other folks just to expand that. But anyway, so yeah, if you want to support us, you can do that, or if you have deep pockets, New Canvas is a startup, and we will be opening up our fundraising round in the new year. So we'd love to have conversations with you if you're angel investing or serious VC investing. Our doors are definitely open. My doors in my ear, I should say.
Incredible. Wadooah, thank you so much for this conversation and your work you're doing to shape the future of immersive storytelling. You're showing us that when we lead with story and build a community, we can truly change how people experience the world. So I'll open it up to questions. I think Paige was going to